Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, the 18th of January, 2025. Wanted to jump on here. We're going to talk about a couple of different topics. One really blew my mind again. Like I said, I don't know 100% if it's true, but usually when they label it a conspiracy theory, it usually has some pretty good traction. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Tartarian Empire. Has anybody ever heard of it? Let me know in the comments if you have. And I just learned about it. I was watching The Unexplained again, like I told you with the last video about Chernobyl. We were watching The Unexplained, and they started talking about the Tartarian Empire and the mud floods, and I had never heard of that. So I started looking into it a little bit. So the Tartarian Empire refers to a group of pseudo-historical conspiracy theories. Like I said, they're going to call them conspiracy theories, including ideas of a hidden past and mud floods, which originated in pseudo-scientific Russian nationalism. The Tartarian, historical name for Central Asia and Siberia, conspiracy theories assert that a Tartarian Empire was a lost civilization with advanced technology and culture. This ignores the well-documented history of Asia. But if you think about it, okay, they're saying that there was a Tartarian Empire that had advanced technologies, and that even some of the buildings that we see today with the intricate detail, the pyramids, all of these things were built by these people because they had they were an advanced civilization. They had technologies, they had electric, they had stuff that we don't know about today. And basically, we'll keep reading here a little bit. The theory of the Great Tartarian and suppressed lost land of civilization originated in Russia, with aspects first appearing in Anatoly Fomenko's New Chronology in the 1970s and early 1980s, and was popularized by a racial occult history in Russia. But after hearing about this, you can go on to Wikipedia. It's on there. You can read about it. You can see the map. But anybody who's seen Oak Island knows that they have found pottery, parchment, and different things at about a depth of 200 feet-ish, 90 feet to 200 feet below ground. Okay? In Michigan, under Lake Michigan, is 330 feet deep. They've found huts, pottery, different things showing that a civilization lived there at one time. Well, if you look at when Pangea or whatever formed Lake Michigan, they say it was over 15 million years ago. Okay? So we're going to get to a point here in a minute. I'm just trying to include everything. If you look at different areas around the world, they go down 200-300 feet, they find pottery, they find different stuff. Well, some would argue that that fits in line with the flood from the Bible, but there's also these mud floods that covered all of this and hid all of the completely covered it up. So there's nothing for us to know about it. And people ask, why did we not hear about it? Well, that's going to take us into our next topic. Like I said, this one is a good one. Look into it, the Tartarian Empire. We're also going to look into orphan trains. Okay? We're going to click on that one. This might explain why you've never heard of it. Okay? The orphan trains was a movement, and it was supervised by a welfare program that transported children from crowded eastern cities of the United States to foster homes located largely in rural areas of the Midwest, short on farming labor. The orphan trains operated between 1854 and 1929, relocating from about 200,000 children plus. The co-founders of the orphan train movement claimed that these children were orphaned, abandoned, abused, or homeless, but this was not always true. They were mostly the children of new immigrants and the children of poor and destitute families living in these cities. Criticisms of the program include ineffective screening, caretakers, insufficient follow-ups on placement, and that many children were used to strictly slave farm labor. 3 charitable institutions, the Children Village, founded in 1851, and 24 philanthropists from the Children's Aid Society, established in 1853 by Charles Loring Brace and the New York Foundling Hospital, endeavored to help these children. The institutions were supported by wealthy donors and operated by professional staff. The 3 institutions developed a program that placed homeless, orphans, abandoned children, whose numbers are estimated 30,000 plus in New York alone in the 1850s, in foster homes throughout the country. Children were transported to their new homes on trains that were labeled orphan trains or baby trains. This relocation of children ended in 1930 due to decreased need for farm labor. But now, hearing all that, we also put these children into what's called foundling hospitals. And it is believed that when they put these children into those hospitals, starting in the 1700s all the way up to 1930, that they were changing our history. They were teaching these children about a history that they created so that way they could do away with the original history. Now, we see that today in our world, that they are constantly trying to rearrange our history as if it doesn't exist. They call it the Mandela effect, or they try to make us think that we're stupid. But if you look into this, like I said, foundling hospitals, the orphan train movement, the Tartarian Empire, these are just a few short things that you can look into on your own to see that if they brainwashed these kids with a different history, then of course, as it moved from the 1700s to today, this is the history that we're going to know, because that's what we were taught. How do we know that the history that they tell us is the history that is what we're learning about? I mean, King James finished the Bible, the rewrite of the Bible, in 1801. So if they were changing the context of history starting in the 1700s, could that have meant that they were changing the Bible as a control tactic to scare you? Climate change to reverse the seasons so that way you would think it was the coming of the end? It's a good question. I mean, I'm not saying that it's 100% true, but lately conspiracy theorists have been labeled as just spoiler alerts. We're just letting you know what's going to happen before it happens. So let me know your thoughts on those things, and like I said, look into them. You can read about it. You can see for yourself. Like I said, they label it as a conspiracy theory. So I'm going to tell you that that's what they're saying that it is. It's a conspiracy theory, but it is definitely an interesting read to figure out what's going on there. The other one that we're going to talk about is Rex 84. Okay? Like I said, you can look these up. Rex 84. Okay? This was a short readiness exercise in 1984. Bravo was a classified scenario and drill developed by the United States federal government to detain large numbers of United States residents deemed to be a national security threat. In the event that the president declared a national emergency, the scenario envisioned state defenses forces rounding up 500,000 undocumented Central American residents and 4,000 American citizens whom the U.S. Attorney General had designated as a national security threat. As part of the secret continuity of the government program, these people would be detained at 22 military bases, concentration camps run by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The existence of a master military contingency plan, of which Rex 84 was part, Operation Garden Plot, a similar earlier exercise, later spiked Lattern Spike, were originally revealed by journalist Ron Ridower, who summarized his findings in 1975. Like I said, all of these you could read about, but Operation Garden Plot, Lantern Spike, these are all interesting ones to look up. Why would they need to, do mass testing to see how fast they could round up 500,000 people? And are they still doing it today? Well, I can't give you the answer to that, but like I said, these are all things that happened. This one happened, and they still continue to do these things. I've gave several things that you should look up. Like I said, that one was another one. The other one, like I said, Rex 84. That's this one. We're gonna look up Plum Island now. Plum Island in New York, once again, is set to have a conspiracy theory that they do testing on animals to try out different sicknesses. Like I said, you can look it up. It's on here. It talks about what goes on. Plum Island, New York. Like I said, they consider these conspiracy theories and they label them as QAnon disinformation. But how do we know that this isn't accurate and that they didn't wipe out our history and just tell us what they wanted us to believe? It's a good question, isn't it? So, we're also going to look at the fact, there's another one here, another little article that a lot of people missed and don't know about. In 2023, a train left from Wyoming to California carrying 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate that just went missing. Disappeared. They have no clue where it went. Well, just recently, someone started talking about trucks that were showing up in Washington, D.C. in their underground tunnels and their driving systems that had 50-gallon drums in it, but they do not know what was in those drums. Coincidence? I don't know. Where did 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate go to? You know what ammonium nitrate is used for. I'm not going to tell you, but a lot of people know what it's used for. There's been several instances. You can look at Google and it'll tell you that several instances when it went missing, there had been large-scale explosions due to it going missing. And this is a huge number of it that went missing. Just like I told you, there's a movie with Jason Bateman. I can't remember the name of it right at the moment, but they're talking about Novichok 7, which is basically a nerve agent. It's 10 times worse than VX gas. That they lost several thousand gallons of it in Russia. I have no idea where it went. So those are interesting things to look into. If I were you, I'd look into them, because I did. I researched them, and they definitely are worth looking into. The other thing is, we've got a new coming administration that's going to be taking office on Monday. Well, before they left, they passed a bill to keep the government running. And in that bill, congressional emails are off limits to be investigated. Why would they need to sign that into law? That makes no sense to me. And why did the FBI delete 4,258 files before they left office? That makes no sense either. Why would you have to put that in a bill to keep the government running? It's interesting. A lot of these things that I find out or come across are very interesting topics, and we could talk about them for hours. But when is someone going to start giving us the answers to these topics? I think as Americans, we should know the answers to these, because all of these people work for us. We elect them. They're supposed to look out for our best interest. They don't look out for our best interest. They look out for their best interest. They cover up their crimes. They pay themselves. They launder money. Well, we go broke and have nothing. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And if you don't remember one of these and you want to know, let me know. And I'll put it in the comments so that way you can look it up. But just a bunch of interesting stuff going on. You know, they're moving the inauguration inside. They have helicopters looking around for radioactive activity. There's, thousands of troops on the ground. There's thousands of police officers refusing to help out at the inauguration. So, what's really going on? Do you know? Because I don't know. But I'd like to know. I'd like to get some answers to a lot of this stuff. So, let me know in the comments what you think, what your thoughts are, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a good day.